There's a little bit of background noise, but I think where you guys are at, you're overpowering it.
It doesn't. I'm wondering if we need to put this up. Oh, that does look better, right? Yeah. Let's get a
pen in your purse.
That's exactly what I was gonna get. I do.
Mind if I look for it?
I have one in my pocket.
Oh, do you have one in your pocket?
You got 3 minutes for the countdown, yeah.
Take that back.
No.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so then it's not
candy
going up.
cigar. Anybody want a candy cigar?
Thank you.
So you were inducted into the Sturgis Hall of Fame.
Sounds good. Okay, 1 second. I need the mouse real quick. Oh, 8 Pete.
Oh wait.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
2012.
Okay. Okay.
And it's Peel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It's like people are like, yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
Joe. Oh my
how do you pronounce
gosh.
your name? Just
How are you?
I mean, I can all kinds of.
Fantastic. Good to see you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good to see you. So you're here all week. Are you outside?
Oh,
All over.
And this is
Oh, nice. Take care of you. Yeah, they're taking care of you.
yeah, and then
Okay, we need to get him up. Yes. Yes. You know what? He can sit down. I can stand. It's not a big deal. I have no problem standing.
so yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. And I just want to be able to hear you really well. I really if you don't like, I can see as well. Sometimes I'm even more comfortable standing. Whatever you feel like doing. Look at all that inventory. It does, that's it. You know what though, right? I'm wondering if we should change with them. Because one walkway is up high steep. And it's gonna come up. Just because it's your name. Alright, we understood. His name is on his.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay. Oh, so I got you.
This mic was better with our drink. Yeah.
Yeah, this is good life. I'm a halo. Yeah,
That was much
straight up all. Can you hear Gina? Yes. Okay. We're having a delay.
Alright. Are we getting deeper now? So, when we can move over there, then we won't be so close. Or even at this end, it might work. Then we can see them better now. We still have the great lighting for our
Use the camera and stuff. Oh yeah, that actually looks good.
You want to sit or,
Hey Dave, can you hear Gina? She's gonna talk right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
There you go. Okay. Be able to see us fine. Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Gina, talk one more time. Yeah, you're a little muffled.
look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
You're muffled. I'm hearing her over you. I'm hearing Penny over you.
Yeah, that one was good. I can hear you guys. I don't think
It's time to rev it up and roll with America's premier motorcycle talk show. Open Road.
Well, obviously, I am not Gina Woods here on Open Road Radio, but we are trying to get things live and get connected with her. Currently, we got Penny out there in Sturgis, where we're connecting live with Gina out there in Sturgis along with her, and they're going to try to keep us updated on what's going on out there. What's up, Gina?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good, good.
We are having a great time out here in Sturgis, South Dakota for the 82nd, and I've got some special guests. I always don't help you. It is these things, and they English pretty well us tonight, and you know, and it's amazing. It's fabulous as we can get around and meet our friends here, our people, and then have them join us for something like this. So it's really go to bring the show to you tonight and to talk. We've got Seafoam, and he's going to be representing for show. We've got Sean Lockwood, and he is representing JC Cycles.
Nice.
Moto Holding, Moto and Best.
Godzilla.
Godzilla Cycle.
Wow.
Yes.
Crazy.
You guys have a lot going on, so we're going to talk about this summit.
Yep. And we have Steve Peel. Steve Peel was inducted into the Sturgis Hall of Fame in 2012. And he's a legend from the Harley Davidson Motor Company. And I'm going to let him introduce himself.
So, well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So I spent most of my career at Harley Davidson in a variety of roles in marketing and communications and events, and going to a lot of things like Sturgis and Daytona and that. And when I retired 7 years ago, I started my own company. So now I work with some of the great brands in motorcycling, and with events and communications and a little bit of strategy. And so and it works for a lot of fun, actually, and it gets me to Sturgis every year.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Right. So how was your ride up there to get up to Sturgis? How was everything going up? How was the weather? No hassles, no nothing like that on the way up there?
My ride was great.
Yeah.
A little bit of heat and wind, and we're talking to our friends who are on the way, and there's a little bit of rain, and but it's good. You think about the destination, right?
Nice.
So,
Sure do. Yep. And the rally is just hopping. Tons of people here.
Yeah.
And Steve, you actually got to stop at some of the, I saw one of your big things on the road, the landmarks.
Oh yeah. So I saw my dad, when I was a kid, my dad would stop at all of the historical markers when we were on family road trips. He would pull in, he would stop the car and he would read it out loud. So everybody in the car had to hear it.
Oh,
and so so as I was leaving Wisconsin to head here, it's like, you know what, I'm going to make the time to do what we did when I was a kid, and stopped, read the historical markers, took some pictures, and
nice. History 101. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it worked out pretty cool. And I took back roads. So there was a dose of history that I never even knew. How about horse-drawn streetcars in Sioux Falls, South Dakota? I can tell you all about that.
Really?
That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. That's good.
It's
Working in the
not a wasted
industry.
day. You learn something new,
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, it's good you had a chance to do that.
Yeah, no, it was great. And the other thing was, we always stopped at scenic overlooks. So I found a few of those along the way too.
Awesome.
And it looks like I'm finding enough that it's going to be on the way back as well.
Good.
So
what did you ride out there?
So I had my Harley Bagger, my 2020 CVO Limited, which was perfect for the ride, and
Nice.
had a great trip. 2 days, all back roads. Did 500 miles the first day and about 400 the second, and got me into Rapid City, and time for the rally.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And I want to ask you, Sean, when did you get out here and how did you get out here as well?
I've been out here more than most people.
Where did your share?
I came out in July, and Komodo and Rosilla did a adventure festival.
That's right.
All off road for the most part, and about 500 people came from all over the country to the Black Hills and didn't ride any asphalt. And it was 400,000 or 500,000 American V-twin owners showed up, and they were like, it's a completely different experience. And once you get off the main Canyon, paved roads, it's a totally different place. So a lot of folks that have been coming out here for years for the Harley rally, the V-twin rally, were like, I had no idea that you could have a completely different experience.
I saw so many people, I saw a lot of good overhead footage and saw so many people here. This is new this year for this area. Last year we had it in Texas, and that was phenomenal at the Texas Stadium. It was fantastic. Will you have planned places next year? Because so much going, special gears are opening up all over the country. With the JS, other things, the retails opening up. But I really love his own local advertising. And how many more do you think are going to be in the future?
Sure. So we've already told folks that in 2023 we're going to have an adventure festival, like the off-road festival, in Mojave, California, and also back in South Dakota. We're going to actually move the date in South Dakota because the weekend that we had it coincides with the Harley Davidson 100th anniversary next July, which, interestingly enough, there's a ton of Pan America Harley Davidson owners that came out to our initial rally this year, and they don't want to have to choose between the upcoming celebration and coming out to ride off road here in Black Hills. So we're gonna move. We're gonna pivot. So folks will be able to go to Milwaukee in July next year, and then they can come out to the Black Hills, and that's gonna wind up like a week before the 83rd. So folks, wow, they're gonna have to live on the road. They're gonna have to call in sick. Starting July 15th next year.
Mark your calendars now.
Right.
Can we vote for that customer? Who is that customer that is joining now? Because I don't think it's going to be very, very similar what you're going to say. You're going to have a wide range of age there. What are you finding out?
Well, adventure riding is one of the fastest growing segments of motorcycles. And so it's all folks. I mean, it's first time buyers, it's folks that are riding on road for a long, long time. And it's men and it's women. It's really across the board. And I think what's driving it is folks are realizing that 80% of the roads in the United States are not paved. And you can go anywhere on these things. And with products like the BMW GS and Ducati has new adventure bike, and of course the Harley Davidson Pan America, people are really looking at that style of riding differently. And if you're only going to have one motorcycle in your garage, it kind of justifies.
Yeah, you will go into very good.
Yeah, you remember everything, and you do really long days. You can go places that you couldn't go before.
Signal.
So that's really the
pandemic helped to create this outdoor adventure for you.
Certainly more people actually decided to go camping. Yeah, decided to be outdoors more than just the credit card touring.
RV, yeah, busing, big business now, I think, big lifestyle.
And I definitely think that folks were during the pandemic looking to get out of cities and not necessarily riding in the city. So it probably fueled it, but it was even growing before the pandemic. So it's probably a little bit of both.
Fantastic. Let's take us a little bit on a tour of, you guys have got a lot going on. So how do you manage it? There's some great things going on. Big stores open up, loving the cycle gear stores. How do you guys manage it?
Well, it takes a lot of people. Between Cycle Gear and Rosilla J.P. Cycles, we have 180 motorcycle retail stores in the United States. And
That's crazy.
We'll hit 6 this year.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
pandemic,
Every time I turn around, I see the cycle gear opening.
there's now 6. There's now 6 J.P. Cycle stores, which is double the number of stores there was 3 years ago.
Yes.
There is one now in Ford. We're going to be doing a field in the Ford rally weekend. It's the first motorcycle rally at Ford in September, and it's going to be based at the J.P. store. And it's going to start small, but the riding is so spectacular that we couldn't help ourselves. Like, well, of course we're going to do this. And it's going to be a weekend before the fall Myrtle Beach. So, as a result, there's a ton of folks that are kind of heading that way, and we were able to talk to some of our best manufacturers into coming and setting up in the parking lot, which is really great for folks that ride in that part of the country in the Appalachians, because they may never see enough. See our sales shop and be able to see the whole catalog in one place.
Do you guys take all back roads on your trips?
We have a lot going on. We've got Field and Forge in September. JP Cycles will be going to fall early.
Okay.
Also going to Delmarva, of course. And then there's Biketoberfest, and then the Lone Star Rally in Texas. And there's some other stuff next year.
It's really spread out and it's kind of covering a lot of ground. I think it's pretty, gotta be a good scenic view from here.
It's a great time to be a motorcyclist. Yeah, it's a great time to work in motorcycling because it's growing. More and
Steve,
more
what do
people
you
are
think
like,
about all this?
Well, especially
Yeah.
with the inflation of the gas prices, well, who wouldn't want a motorcycle right now? I'd rather spend $15 and get 120 miles instead of spending, 30 bucks or whatever, 85 bucks to fill up your tank, and you're spending 80 bucks again the next day.
106.
Yeah. And Sean, I think it's so cool because I always think that people's motorcycling experience for the most part is probably within 200 miles of their home. And, most of your riding is in that area. And for you guys to be taking more stores and more rallies and things like that, and making it easier for, like you said, a motorcyclist to meet the reps from a company and talk about why these pipes or these pipes or which lighting is the best and things. I think that's part of motorcycling that those of us who go to the big rallies see that a lot. But when you create more of these, and your horsepower of your company can bring those companies together to do it. So that's pretty cool. And by the way, with when I watched the social media on the Get On Fest, that from out here, from my friends who were out here, it's like, it felt like we were finally sharing all the excitement of Sturgis and the Black Hills with all those people who don't have, big V twins. And it was like all that great fun that we have. Now they got to have a little piece of that. And so we're kind of sharing the love.
Yeah,
It's got to be fun
awesome.
in those winding roads out there in the Black Hills.
Yep. And I've always seen, when you're riding, I'm riding my Harley, and you look over your shoulder and you see, a 2-lane dirt road going off to the side, and you go, oh, that would be really cool to, to see what's down there. And it's like, but I'm not going to do it on this big bagger. But, the people for the ADV Fest, I'm sure they're going, make a turn. We're going that way.
Yeah.
So,
Did you get some of those rides?
I don't ride as much when I'm at an event that I'm responsible for.
Yeah. I'm sure you're all over that.
I wish I had great stories, but my great stories are about like picking up bikes and taking them back into the work on so that they can go ride again.
Go right again, absolutely.
My riding adventures have nothing to do with the events that we produce, unfortunately.
Because we know that Patrick Garvin is one of the guys that absolutely loves this area, loves to get around. I mean, on his off time, I watch Patrick a lot of these all over. He must know every single.
He's a good guy. Good guy.
We have to give him a ton of credit because when he came out to Sturgis to do wrenching videos for Janky Cycles and working on Sportsters and baggers and all things American Between, he moved out here and he started riding the trails, and he's the one that really says, like, dude, you don't know how great it is. Or you gotta come out here and ride. You don't do it in August because it's too crowded, too many people, and too expensive, and the cops have speed traps everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's do it in July or do it in September. And just as a reminder, the Sturgis event started off road. So
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
That's the experience. That's exactly where it started.
Yep.
I think it's really fun to watch Patrick, and he's just a perfect person to. He's got the right. He just loves it. He's the right guy for the job.
He's in the best place in the world to be best. There's nowhere else in the world that would be better than Patrick Garvin.
That's great.
So very true. Hey guys, I think that we are going to go and we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills. We want to thank everybody on 1400 AM Hit Shop, brought to you by Throttle Law Studios. Please give it a like, give it a share if you're watching this on Facebook Live, Gina Woods, Open Road Radio, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Give us a subscribe. We'll be right back with Sean McLaughlin and Steve Field right after.
All right.
How can you tell if somebody actually cares? Look at their actions. At Full Throttle Law, we are all about protecting riders. That means we don't just organize rides. We take action to keep riders safe. We have sponsored or created over 20 safety-focused events in the past year alone. Emergency response classes, first aid courses, riding seminars, track days, garage nights, and fundraisers for local independent charities
hear a
Any
delay
law firm can help
on
you
their
get a
mic.
settlement if you get hurt. But we're already on the road with you, doing everything we can to make sure we
Yeah, I
all
thought-
get home
you know
safe
why?
at the end of
Because
the
our mic was
ride.
picking
If
them
you've
up,
been
and
hurt
that's why
in
they
any
sound
kind of
far
accident, tell your smartphone to call Full Throttle Law.
when you guys
We
talk about
ride together.
Are you
Ready to ride? Seafoam
Yeah,
Motor
maybe
Treatment was born with a focus on being a safe and effective product that helps engines run cleaner and last longer. Seafoam Motor Treatment is now one of the best-selling additives in North America. Seafoam Motor Treatment is an all-petroleum blend that helps lubricate upper cylinders while it cleans, helping engines to run cleaner, run smoother, and last longer. Seafoam products have attracted a passionate following as the proven choice for mechanics, vehicle enthusiasts, and all sorts of people who love or depend on engines.
We've grown
since our humble beginnings, but our focus is still the same. Safe products that are
I'm wondering
proven
if
to
we
work
just all
and keep
four-
engines and equipment running their best.
Or the
And
three
if
of
you're
you
looking
sit
for a
here,
great
I mean,
cleaning combo for your
that's
bike,
fine
try
too.
Seafoam Bugs Be Gone
Wanna
to
do it
clean
that way, we'll
and
just
Seafoam
bring
Fast Shine to
computer over there
detail.
and
Ask
another
for it at
stool.
your local retailer.
I really, I
Seafoam,
don't
the
mind.
Or
trusted
do we
choice
just
since
go- or do we just go
1942.
back
Check
to
out the
where we
website for
were
the full
before
line of
if our
products,
mic is picking
locations,
you
and
up?
videos
If
at
we just- we go back
to where we were
seafoamfastshine.com and like us on Facebook. While some products
Okay.
fix problems,
Yeah.
Andrews solves them.
Yeah.
With nearly 50 years
Okay.
of passion, precision, and high performance, Andrews Products changes the world of motorsports. Engineered and manufactured in-house, Andrews excels by using aircraft steel, then machining to the closest industry tolerances. If you need powerful cams, gears, and transmissions for your ride that are proudly made in America, use Andrews Products. Contact
How long is the interview?
AndrewsProducts.com or call our tech
For
line
Andrews.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 at 847-759-0190.
Warm weather means more friends, more road trips,
She
more
said she'll
fun,
highlight that
and more
another
people
time.
on the
That
road.
She feels
But
we
it
have
also
enough to
means
talk about
more distractions.
today. Okay.
Summer brings out motorcycle riders, so
Maybe-
please
maybe that-
remember to look twice,
Then they
even
can
3
hear you
times,
better.
to see motorcycles and to cut down on distractions
one more
while
food
driving. Let's keep this summer fun.
All
Music
right,
and
we're
then-
back at Open Road Radio, and we got Gina Woods live out in Sturgis. She's sitting with Sean Laughlin, and we got Penny over there also sitting with Steve Peel, and they're keeping us updated on what's going on out there in Sturgis. So Gina, tell us a little bit more what's going on with you and Sean and Steve out there as they're getting things organized out there. But keep us going on. What's up in Sturgis?
So right now, we're just doing a quick little musical chairs here because, that's what we like to do at Sturgis.
Sure.
I like to mix it up a lot. But I'm here with Sean Laughlin, and we were talking about some of the great things that are going on, both in Sturgis, but some of their events that they have coming up during the rest of the year. So speaking about Sturgis, what other events are you guys? You got the store here; it's busy all day. You've got vendors here. What other events are you a part of? Because I see you all over.
Well, as I mentioned before the break, James is going to all the big twin events. And I think the big news is, at least what we're feeling in Sturgis, is the borders are back open. We're starting to see people from outside the U.S. that come down, like folks from Canada, folks from Europe, folks from Mexico, which is great to see. And
You've been here since what, Friday now?
yeah,
Friday. What do you think the population compared to last year might be? And have you gotten any numbers yet? We just got into town, so I haven't gotten to talk to Christine about any numbers.
it feels like there's more people here than last year. And that's what everybody said. And for example, I was out and I was talking to some folks that were from Canada, from British Columbia, and they were planning on coming in 2020, but the borders closed. So they couldn't come in 2020, they couldn't come in 2021. And they've been waiting 2 years to come to Sturgis, and now they're here. And I'm like, there's probably hundreds, not thousands of people like you. And they're like,
That's a long reservation, isn't
we're,
it?
we're camping with, a couple dozen people that we were all going to come down together. So if you take that little story and you multiply it, that's, I think, what we're feeling. We're kind of back to, this is really the first season of normal.
Yeah.
And then that's going to carry on into the fall. So we're really expecting for a fantastic fall rally season.
So
I think that.
So I have
and-
a question. I have a quick question here for Sean. So for relatively new riders like myself, I've been riding for just like 3-4 years now, and I finally got myself my V twin, and I got my jackpot that I want to ride, and Sturgis is now on the bucket list. When do you think, and what is the best way to get up there, and and what are the best attractions to check out while you're at Sturgis?
Oh my gosh, that's
a loaded question.
It is.
How many hours do you have?
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but the answer for any motorcyclist of when to come to Sturgis is as soon as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Right? As soon as you can get the time off of work and find it in your life to do it, don't put it off. And because you're going to come out here and it's going to get in your blood, and you want to keep coming every year and make it an annual. And a lot of folks that come here, this is something that they do every year, and they save up for it, and they see friends that this might be the one time of the year that they get to see us. And the riding never gets old, and the experience never gets old.
Okay.
It's a very special thing.
So what happens out there? Do they have like live events or stuff like that along the strip, or what goes on there?
The strip is crazy. Absolutely. It's like Las Vegas in August.
Oh, really?
So, I brought somebody from the airport who was flying in to work this event, and they live in Florida, and they ride, and they've been to Daytona Bike Week,
Okay.
but they've never been to Sturgis. And for the 42 miles from Rapid City, South Dakota to Sturgis, which is population 6,000 people, and then for 2 weeks a year it becomes population 250,000 people. This person couldn't believe how spread out it is. Like Rapid City's busy and there's a lot to do and see there. Sturgis is busy, there's a lot to do and see there. Deadwood is this incredible historic mining town that just is totally biker friendly and a great scene. And you can really spend a day in every single one of those places. And you can also spend a day at the campgrounds. The Full Throttle Saloon is a legendary campground. The Sturgis Buffalo Chip is, of course, legendary. It's legendary in its name.
Yep.
And there's concerts every night. So
What do you guys think?
And Sean didn't even mention Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse Memorial, Hill City,
The
Custer,
monuments and
Custer State Park.
Yes.
You literally could not see everything during one visit.
for
Yeah.
sure.
What do you guys think about? I think that there are so many more RVs this year, going back to the whole pandemic thing. I think people are doing more camping and doing more little homes, in these areas, some of the cabins, everything. It seems like it's.
I talked to the general manager of the hotel where I'm staying, and she said she lost 12 regular guests who come every year for Sturgis. And they said, it's not that I don't want to stay there, but we bought an RV during the pandemic.
Exactly.
And
That's
so
exactly
that's
it.
one hotel.
Yeah.
And so if you magnify that, I think it's natural. People move to that type of recreation
Yeah.
and
I
they're
know
using
5
it for their
people
Sturgis.
that bought an RV.
Oh
That's why
yeah,
I-
during the
that's my
pandemic,
house,
yeah.
And I wanted to rent one to bring out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, people got outdoors, and it's a good thing for all of us. People got on 2 wheels. They could get out in the wind during the pandemic and feel safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what kind of
Yeah.
events do they have out in Sturgis for like all the bikers? Like live bands, or is it like a festival? I mean, like I said, I've never been there, so I'm kind of like, what goes
All right,
on?
you're coming out next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be here next year.
It's like a dozen festivals in the same place.
Oh, okay,
because
cool.
It's all of those things, and everybody has mixed the music entertainment with stunt shows, with all different types of stuff.
Stunt
Light
shows. So they're jumping stuff and they're doing all that.
They're
Oh, yeah.
jumping, they're
Oh, yeah.
spinning, they're
So Evil
Yeah.
Knievel Jr.
flying. It's
So quick.
mine's 14 because there's 14 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I've been coming here. This is my 24th year, and my husband has been out here twice, and I got to see Sturgis in the eyes of an enthusiast the first time he came out. And it's like, wow, all of us take advantage of, we're so busy working and everything. We just don't see it in the eyes of an enthusiast anymore because we're so busy working. So it was really refreshing. He wanted to go here, wanted to go there. And, and it was just a really cool thing to be able to sit back and watch him really, really enjoy it.
And
Yeah.
that's the same with Scrapper Dan. So Scrapper Dan did Sturgis 2021,
Yeah.
and he did it like 1970s. So coming out here with his bike, sleeping under it, having the tent blow away,
Yeah.
getting muddy out. I was like, dude, like 1970s Sturgis. He loves it. You get back out
Yes.
this year to do it all over
Yeah.
again.
Well, it's going back to that with all the camping too, really. Yeah.
And you have all sorts of people. You
Yeah.
have all sorts of people out there. Like you were saying, the international
Yeah.
labor is here. And then of course, you got your business, people that are in the industry, people that are not in industry and just love this, people that are not even hikers that come out here just to see it.
Yeah.
And it's
for
good
sure.
that people aren't afraid of the pandemic anymore, and they're able to actually get out and experience things again and actually enjoy life,
And there's a lot of pent up demand.
Yeah.
After a couple of years of not being able to travel or being afraid to travel, and bands weren't touring, and like for example, a lot of the motorcycle manufacturers were not allowed to travel, so that they weren't demoing their new bikes, so you couldn't even test ride the new bikes. So all of it is back,
Yeah.
and it's really the first year since 2020 that everything's back.
Yeah, and this is part of the world is traveling more. It's the pent up demand for travel, and I think what we're experiencing here is people who held back for whatever reason, and now they're here. I did talk to some friends with the city of Sturgis today, and they didn't give numbers, but they said they're pretty happy with attendance compared to last year, which to me indicates that attendance is up for last year. So.
Well, it's always like the first weekend. I think it's a lot of industry stuff. And you get a lot of people. Today's like a transition day, kind of Monday, Tuesday, where some people are leaving and more people are coming, Wednesday, Thursday, but still a lot of people on their way out, a lot of people on their way in, as early as Monday, because some people just go for that weekend.
Right.
So it's a nice revolving door of people coming in and going out throughout the whole.
Yeah.
It looked like it, and Main Street was packed. We were just down there about an hour ago. First chance that we had to go down Main Street, and it was, when all the bikes are just there's the market was packed.
Is there a
Like,
thunderstorm coming? No, it's just some bikes.
Looking good for a Monday night. Speaking of all of that, the JMC and the different things that are going on, how is the inventory and how is the shipping? We know that during the pandemic, we had a lot of things that stopped. A lot of people from getting the right parts that you needed. How does that affect it, and where is it at now?
Well, the short answer is it's better now than it was 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago, but it's still not perfect.
Okay.
And it gets really specific. I mean, there are certain things from certain manufacturers that are still hard to get. We try really hard. We know what we need a year in advance, and we try to go get it. And we try to go get those orders in. But demand has been high all year too.
Oh yeah.
So the thing is you might bring in our case, 500 seats for a certain style of bike, and you sell 100 of them before the rally starts, and you start the rally with 400. So I would say we're doing pretty good, like surprisingly good. But it's going to be pretty thin by the end of the rally.
Where do you think that levels out? What do you project as where that can level out?
I think if you get different opinions from different folks, helmets are different than gear, and that's different than hard parts, customization pieces that you're going to put on your motorcycle. But in general, most people are saying that we are still going to be playing catch up through the end of this year. And I know that the motorcycle manufacturers, some of them are publicly traded and they have to answer these questions, are saying that it's going to be, that they're chasing demand through the rest of the year. And I mean, we're all crossing our fingers that, next spring the pendulum will have swung kind of back into normal.
So having the different companies, does that complement some folks for getting one part and not being able to get it from this company, but get it from one of the other?
It absolutely helps.
Yeah.
For example, somebody came into JMP today and they wanted a very specific helmet, and he is sold out of it, and they called Cycle Gear across the street.
Yeah.
They had it.
Right
So,
across the street.
if we can help the customer, that's obviously what
Well, J&P keeping people on two wheels since
79.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for our surroundings. Just love to come here. And we will do it again.
I
We'll
hope so.
definitely come and do it again with you and look for your next events, because obviously you just said September is your next one. I think you said, J&P is just rocking with events this year. So check them out. There's some fun stuff and there's something for everybody, I think. Half of the,
And if I can
you don't enough to have something for everybody.
If I can leave with one message, 10 years ago, if you came out to Sturgis and you didn't ride a Harley, you're probably going to get a hard time. That's not true anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a motorcycle rally. All makes are welcome. Everybody's welcome. There's more diversity of riders and bikes out here than ever before, and that just makes it
So
even
true,
Yeah.
so true.
So
Very
thank you.
good. Great. Thank you so much, Sean. It's a pleasure.
Mhm.
All right, we are going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to talk with Steve Peel at Kirsch Helmets. We want to thank our sponsors, Andrews Products, Seafoam Products, Kirsch Helmets, J&P Cycles, Biker Bell, Women's Day at the Buffalo Chip. We'll talk about that momentarily. Cats and Moses, Harley Davidson, Full Throttle Law, Bike Show, Mafia, Motorcycle Safety Foundation, and Medwear Apparel. We'll be right back after these messages.
How can you tell if somebody actually cares? Look at their actions. At Full Throttle Law, we are all about protecting riders.
Right.
That means we don't just organize rides. We take action to keep riders safe. We have sponsored or created over 20 safety-focused events in the past year alone. Emergency response classes, first aid courses, riding seminars, track days, garage nights, and fundraisers for local independent charities. Any law firm can help you get a settlement if you get hurt. But we're already on the road with you, doing everything we can to make sure we all get home safe at the end of the ride. If you've been hurt in any kind of accident, tell your smartphone to call Full Throttle Law. We ride together.
I just need to correct your key message.
Ready to ride?
there is not an
Seafoam Motor
annual.
Treatment was born
It's
with a
not,
focus
like,
on being a
we
safe
have
and effective product that helps engines run cleaner and last longer. Seafoam Motor Treatment is now one of the best-selling additives in North America. Seafoam
awesome.
Motor Treatment is an
Good.
all-petroleum
And
blend that
replace
helps
that.
lubricate upper cylinders while the clean's helping engines to run cleaner, run smoother, and last longer. Seafoam products have attracted a passionate following as the proven choice for mechanics, vehicle enthusiasts, and all sorts of people who love or depend on engines. We've grown since our humble beginnings, but our focus is still the same. Safe products that are proven to work and keep engines and equipment running their best. And if you're looking for a great cleaning combo for your bike, try Seafoam Bugs Be Gone to clean and Seafoam Fast Shine to detail. Ask for it at your local retailer. Seafoam, the trusted choice since 1942. Check out the website for the full line of products, locations, and videos at seafoamsales.com and like us on Facebook.
Yeah, no, I think I've
While
got
some
it.
products fix problems, Andrews solves them. With nearly 50 years of passion, precision, and high performance, Andrews Products changes the world of motorsports. Engineered and manufactured in-house, Andrews excels by using aircraft steel, then machining to the closest industry tolerances. If you need powerful cams, gears, and transmissions for your ride that are proudly made in America, use Andrews Products. Contact AndrewsProducts.com or call our tech line Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 at 847-759-0190.
Warm weather means more friends, more road trips, more fun, and more people on the road. But it also means more distractions. Summer brings out motorcycle riders, so please remember to look twice, even 3 times, to see motorcycles and to cut down on distractions while driving. Let's keep this summer fun.
You want to mention for Thursday?
And we're
event.
back with Open Road Radio, and we got Gina out there with Penny, and they're sitting in with Steve Peel for Kirsch Helmets, and they're going to keep us up to date on everything out there in Sturgis and everything else out there. But I have one question for Steve. Seeing as that we're based here in Chicago, how's the food scene out there in Sturgis?
It is actually, it's really good.
Mhm.
Considering there's a lot of street food. And so, but but they do it really well. And I talk about Main Street, and you go down there. I happened to be down there this morning to meet someone when everybody was putting their stuff on the grills to cook. So there was like chicken kebabs. There was, they were cooking the onions to go with the sausages. So it's all some good stuff like that. There's some Wisconsin cheese curds too, of course.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, don't you know it?
And they've really changed that, because the only thing that you used to come out here for was an Indian taco.
Yes.
Back in the day, 20 years ago, the Indian tacos you could die for.
What
Don't
does that
even know if
consist
they're
of?
using the same message or not. But it's kind of like a real taco. I mean, just like a regular taco. But the Indian taco is kind of a closed.
And it's
not a
different kind
tortilla.
of bread. It's not a
It's a
tortilla.
dough.
It's almost like a naan bread, like
Yeah,
what's now you associate with Indian
Yes.
food.
And it would kind of be like a salsa, some kind of sauce. It was just amazing. I mean, you came in directly to downtown Sturgis, got an Indian taco as soon as you got in town.
But
We
but of course you can still get corn dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And there's a great place for breakfast, that one, as you come in town, that little red, everybody goes to that one.
Oh, well, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, right as you
I
come
do.
in town. I wish
totally know.
they remember the name of it. I'd give them a good shout out.
There was my
But
brother.
I'll have to put that on the, webpage. But, we want to talk to Steve about Kirsch Helmets. Kirsch Helmets, we're going to be announcing they are supporting, Biker Belt Women's Day tomorrow. And, Donnie DeVito and his crew, and Steve, you've been, consulting, working with them for quite a few years.
Yeah. So for Kirsch has been around for close to 5 years, since Jason Kirschon and Donnie and the crew in Schenectady, New York, put together, Jason's brilliant technology for this helmet. And it's an all-American made helmet. So they've been around for a while. They have been a sponsor of Sturgis for the past 3 years.
They have.
And so they've been very present to attendees at the rally. And so they're we have less presence from display standpoint now, but equally amount of support for important events like Biker Bells, like other events taking place. Yesterday or on Sunday was the Flying Pistons benefit, which they had donated a autographed helmet for, which raised money for All Kids Bike, which is a great nonprofit
Doing great things.
helping
it's a good
young
event.
grade schoolers and kindergartners learn how to ride on two wheels, to learn how to ride a bicycle.
I think we're all ambassadors.
So
I'm not
You're not
yet.
We're gonna recruit you.
Yes, I
Maybe
would like
tonight.
that. I would like that.
we're gonna put in a good word for you.
Awesome. I
So
would
what about
enjoy
Kirsch helmets? Would you set them above anybody else? Why would you recommend Kirsch helmets?
So here's what's special about Kirsch helmets. In addition to being the only American-made helmet, the
only American-made helmet.
100% American-made helmet.
I didn't know that.
And Kirsch has received numerous awards for hiring vets and
Yes.
support for the people that have served in the military. Actually, and Donnie DeVito, the president of the company who you mentioned before, has served. And that part of the mission, I think, comes from Donnie and many of the other employees in Schenectady that do that. But the technology is what really sets the company apart. Right now, the company makes a half helmet, which is the helmet that's most popular with the V-twin crowd. And what they've done is the technology for protecting your head is not a fiberglass shell that delaminates when something hits it or when you drop it. It's a super hard resin shell that you can literally, when we go with displays, we literally park a truck on top of the helmet to show how strong the shell is.
Yeah.
And then inside the shell is a liner, a silicone liner with liquid in it. So what happens is a half inch of liquid can do what 2 inches of styrofoam does. So the DOT approved half helmets are the ones that stick out 1.5 inches to 2
Right,
inches, gives you that mushroom head.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, and that, in addition to the look that isn't always complimentary, it also lifts when you're riding, when you're on the highway.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
and so you
yes.
get that,
Mhm.
pull adds a Kirsch helmet. And I was amazed when I first rode on the highway with my Kirsch helmet, because it's a smaller helmet. It clings to your head.
I love its
close,
shape.
and it looks-
It really feels like
Yeah.
it's a fitted
So,
helmet.
yeah.
And doesn't it stay cooler?
so it does. The
Yeah.
liner, you could actually put the liner in the refrigerator and it will stay
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
for 45
And
minutes.
we need that in
So-
Vegas where I'm located.
Oh,
When I heard
yes.
about that part of
Yeah.
that helmet,
So-
I was totally interested
Yeah,
in
you
that.
can actually
So,
put the whole helmet
yeah.
in a cooler. You can take the liner out and just leave that in a cooler.
That's amazing.
So in hot climates like Phoenix, Vegas,
Yeah.
California.
throughout the desert, and here,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's a great benefit.
Now,
Um,
does it
but-
also have vents in there to help cool it while you're riding? With
It does not, because and you'll find most helmets, not all, but most helmets, they don't want to break the shell
the
with
solid
vents.
texture, yeah.
Right.
But this sits on your head. I always say I recommend, put on a liner, or put on a bandana or something like that, to absorb any sweat. But,
Right.
but the helmet just fits well. It fits, and it doesn't lift when you're riding. It gives you that ability to turn your head without being pulled.
Yeah, that's
what I
amazing.
was.
That's
That's
awesome.
what I was the most surprised with riding my bike on the
Yeah.
highway. And you turn your head sometimes when you wear a half helmet, you brace for this pull.
Completely.
Yeah.
There's not a
Yeah.
half helmet that really doesn't
Yeah,
lift.
Yeah.
this one.
Because they're very light.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're
Yeah.
going to pick up
And
the
they have that.
air. They're gonna pick it up.
Kirsch helmets, it's almost like wearing a baseball cap. It's
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
flipping your
Nice.
baseball cap around and riding, because it feels like that. And they are heavier than a normal half helmet, because the liquid is heavier than styrofoam. But we encourage people to test ride with a Kirsch helmet, because you get on the road and you don't feel the weight at all. I have a dealer friend of mine who, when I first gave the helmet to him, he said, "No, I don't want, I'm not interested." I said, "Just take it for a ride." He came back. He wears it on his cross country rides now. It's his helmet of choice.
Nice.
That's so
for
very
cross-country
true.
rides.
I think
So-
when people realize what the technology is,
Mhm.
because they'll pick it up and they'll go, "Oh, I'm not gonna wear that." And until they realize why it's heavy like that, which I think is an amazing technology that he came up with.
Yeah.
And it really makes sense. So
Yeah.
you just got to get to know
Yeah.
a Kirsch helmet.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and
What kind of
and the
material
company-
is it? Is it
Um,
Teflon?
The exterior is a super hardened resin, which is
Okay.
why you can literally put a truck tire on it. And they were actually last weekend.
They had that
there's
last year at the-
there's a text stream for all the people with the company, and somebody texted, said, "Well, we ruined another parking lot." And they backed the truck up. They picked up the shell, and there was a mark in the pavement.
Oh my
The
gosh.
shell,
Oh, the
Yeah.
shell.
so
Oh, wow.
so solid.
That's
And
crazy.
so it doesn't, and there's the science of deflection. So if there were something that your helmet were to hit, rather than your helmet absorbing the energy, you have a deflection
The
point
impact.
where you
Gotcha.
absorb the energy.
Well, hands down, I mean, that's the protection you want on your head.
For sure.
That is the protection that you want while you're riding,
Do
whether it's around the block or around the country.
you also have Bluetooth capabilities with your helmets? So that way you can
So-
communicate with each other, or no?
It's in the current version of the helmet, it's not built in, but there are a lot of the Bluetooth capable companies, the communicator, that
Mhm.
make a half helmet version, which is either a clip onto a helmet or like a headset that you
Yeah.
can wear. So you can take advantage of that using current technology that's out there.
Well, spoiler, Donnie told me that there is a women's version coming up
Oh, good.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
the
make it
company,
stylish.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and the company is really,
It's actually a very stylish helmet already.
yeah.
It's very appealing. The colors that they have on it now are just are popping.
Yeah,
They
and
look
there's-
really
and
good.
There's some limited we have the technology to have some limited production designs. We do a lot with American flag designs. We do, and it's a wrap type thing on the helmet. So
Okay.
if people go to kirschhelmets.com, they can see the limited production ones. They can see the standard colors.
Yeah.
They can
And-
also see that we've got, sorry, Penny.
No, go ahead.
The company has really been focused on getting dealers started up with helmets. And Donnie told me yesterday that we've got over 80 dealers,
Yes,
East Coast.
he
and
told me
South.
that as
Yeah.
well. That's
So,
right.
and that's where somebody who's interested in a Kirsch helmet can go in, find the right size. Indian of Sturgis is a helmet, carries Kirsch helmets. And they just got a reorder that should have arrived today. So people that, are interested here can go and check it out.
That was going to be my question. Where can folks find you here in Sturgis?
Yep.
Where are all your
Yeah,
locations?
Indian of Sturgis. And
Mhm.
that was where kind of the refocus of the company. It's like, we need to get out into dealers. So our crews that would have been here are out calling on dealers this week.
They are.
To get.
I just spoke with
helmets in.
Greg this morning.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's out there. He's
Yeah.
just leaving Oklahoma, I
Yeah.
think, and going back to
Yeah.
New York. So
Indian of Sturgis got an order delivered today. So anybody who wants to go in and try them on can do it. At
Awesome.
Indian of Sturgis.
That's
Is it
great.
only Indian, or do you also have Harley vendors also, or no?
Most of them are actually, most of the dealerships are Harley dealerships.
There you go.
And but Indian of Sturgis got on early a couple of years ago when we were here and we visited. And then there's dealerships, they're just bike dealerships, that sell a variety of used bikes and accessories and things like that. We're not aligned with any one particular type of shop. It's what we find is there's certain dealership owners that are interested in sharing the new technology with their customers. And those are the ones who are taking Kirsch on, and they're training their employees on how to fit the technology. And that's where we're successful. And I think being American made, being made by veterans, is one of those things that is important to a lot of people, maybe more important now than it has been for a long time.
Now, have you thought about branching out outside of motorcycle helmets, maybe doing like youth football or doing something like that, or?
Are you reading the company memos?
I'm just
I
spitballing.
think there's some
Sad.
announcements coming up. There's some announcements.
There are some other venues where this same technology will be really beneficial. We always say anything where a person wears a helmet would benefit from this technology, and that's football, hockey, baseball, construction work, and things like that.
Very cool.
And as the company grows, it was started by a person who was a rider from Schenectady, New York. He was at Laconia, the rally in Laconia, when he got the inspiration to say, I have to do something to help protect people, and let's do a half helmet and make it something that guys who may not wear a helmet might say, that's cool enough that I will get that helmet, I'll wear it. And that's
Great technology, and it's really coming to the Midwest. Doing a lot of work in the Midwest currently, so we should be able to get some new locations announced very soon.
Right on.
Very soon.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's real quickly, because we've just got a couple minutes left. Why don't we tell Dave what else is going on this week? We've got
So what's
the
going on tomorrow
women's,
at Sturgis? Tell me what you guys up to tomorrow.
the Biker Bell Women's Day at the Buffalo
Yep.
Ship is
Ooh.
going on. So
Yeah.
Gavin Fax is out there. A lot of great women. Chris Summer Simmons, Karen Davidson is going to be out there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. We have been talking about it for several weeks on the show.
Yep.
So you can go to bikerbells.com and check out more information. Kirsch Helmets is helping in part to sponsor it. So there'll be a ride in the morning from the Deadwood Lodge.
Yes.
And then they'll go to Buffalo Chip and be catered to a very nice breakfast.
Mhm.
And then there is an outdoor women's motorcycle show.
Mhm.
And that is put on by
Maiden Motos,
Maiden
Savannah
Motos,
Road.
yes.
Yep. And if you want to partake in the event, just show up at the Deadwood Lodge at 7:30 a.m. It's early, but you will have no regrets because it really is a beautiful day.
And it did filled up fast. And you've got
yeah.
you got some nice opportunities in the morning with Diva Amy and
Yep.
her massage and all kinds of vendors, women vendors. So you
Yeah.
can pick up some pretty cool bandanas and just some other great, useful
Absolutely.
motorcycle accessories.
Yep. And putting your bike in the women's bike show is always a good thing. It's a lot of fun, and it's just really good to stand there and talk to the other female riders and the passion they have for their motorcycles. So try to get your bike in there too if you're
And it goes to several different causes, helping with horsepower.
Yep, I believe so. Yep. And then we got a big lineup throughout the week. I mean, there's so much going on.
Now
After
you're
that,
hosting something too, Gina, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yes,
DJing?
tomorrow I am hoping to MC that, and I'm really excited.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So we will get lots of good footage to bring home, and we'll
Yeah.
get a lot of great interviews as well.
Absolutely.
Right on.
And then Wednesday morning, there's the Sturgis Motorcycle Museum Hall of Fame breakfast. There's the Evil Entanglement show at the Buffalo Chip. Dave Perowitz has his paint show that night at 8 p.m. Mama Tried Bike Show. That's happening also. And then Thursday, as I'm flying.
If you wanted
for
to
my
get
schedule.
to everything, in one day, like all of you,
It's
you have to.
impossible.
I think Marilyn does it.
I know,
I
I
don't
think
know
you're
how,
right.
but I
I
think
think
she
you're right.
actually is
Yeah.
able to achieve that feat.
Yeah. And we can't forget about Thursday, the Rats Hole show. Billy Lane show is taking place also, and the Cycle Source Black Hills Boogie Chopper show is happening as well. So as you can hear, there's so much to see and do, whether it's at Iron Horse, whether it's a Buffalo Chip, whether it's on Main Street.
What are
or
you doing in the next couple
whatever.
days?
So, Hall of Fame breakfast on Wednesday, and I'm gonna swing by a couple of bike shows. There's the vendor area at Black Hills Harley, which is
Oh my
absolutely huge.
Nice.
Gotta spend some time at.
That's a couple days walking
uh,
through.
Yeah,
The,
I was there today and it was awesome.
And then catching up with friends. I mean, that's the one thing that it's not just about the events; it's about people and catching up with friends along the way. And sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's by accident.
This
but
is
that's
the
a
annual
piece.
event that people really can get together. They stop the IMS shows. So a lot of the people that you would see normally at the IMS shows would be, something like one of the three major rallies. Yes, be at one of them.
So real quick before we get out, Steve, why don't you tell us where we can reach out and try to find a Kirsch helmet, and then I'll let Gina take the helm to close us
Yeah.
out.
So the KirschHelmets.com is the best way to to get the info about the technology and the helmets and the colors and things. And on there, you can find out where there's a dealer close to you. If you're in Sturgis, stop by Indian of Sturgis and check them out there.
Right on.
Fantastic. Dave, I want to thank you for taking up the helm back in Chicago. We want to thank our listeners at 1400 AM K-Shot, brought to you by Full Throttle Law Studios. And we know that Dazzlin's out there riding somewhere.
she is.
She got caught up in a run today.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Steve, for joining
thank
us. We
you.
want to thank Sean Laughlin for giving us the opportunity. I don't know if you guys could hear the little buzzing in the back, but they're having tattoos up here. So I think we're going to go get Steve
I need my
tattooed
sleeve.
right now. But we're going to go get him tattooed. You guys have a great night, and we will see you back in Chicago next Monday for Motorcycle Mondays.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye-bye,
tuning in
guys.
to America's premier
All right.
motorcycle talk show.
Good show.
Open road.
Did you do that?
Hey, thanks for coming along. We hope you enjoyed